Let's start from the alerts module. We can search those alerts using different filters. For example, let's filter by title, and I put web scan. Let's search if there are any alerts. We can see a few, and we can preview the alert and see its details. So we can grab a log from CM and then put the most important part, which are observables. And we can find here hostname and IP address. We can import the alert using empty case or use template to have tasks assigned to the case. So we have some network issue in this alert. So let's choose malicious network behavior template.
So these templates are already in the system, right? And they contain the tasks and the things. Can they be modified into Thai language?
Yes, of course. So we can go to the organization part, and in the case template we can open each of the templates and update tasks and description. So and put anything in here. So we have all the information from the alert. So this is the log, and here are observables. When we create a case, it has assignee. You can find my name over here. During investigation, we can add tags over here. So, for example, we can add tag scanning, or we can use tags library and add another tag. If we use library, we have all tags normalized, so no typos over here. Also, we can add custom fields, for example, category, and choose a value from the list. Some of the fields don't have predefined values. For example, if we have a vulnerability, we can place any value in the CVSS field. Now let's go to observables section. We want to find out if this IP address is suspicious or not. So let's select the object and run analyzers. As you can see, we have a list of IP analyzers, and I can select one or many to analyze this this object. So let me choose a few of them.
How many analyzers have we got in total in the system?
Above 200.
Great.
Yeah. And on the right hand, we can see that a new analysis was executed. So in a while, we will see additional information. So we can open each of the alerts, each of the reports. So for example, here we have suspicious classification, and after drill down, we can see blacklist, sources, and some other stuff. In the values total, we can see how many engines marked this object as suspicious, and below we can see exactly which engines mark this object. Okay, if we want to block this this IP address, we can use responders. And from the list, you can select, for example, block IP on a firewall or isolate workstation using EDR. So let's go the next tab, which are techniques and procedures from MITRE framework. And we can choose one of these, reconnaissance, and let's search active scanning and add TTP. After this, we can go to additional details, and we can see some descriptions from MITRE, and we can share the case with another team. So for example, incident requires network team involvement. We can choose network team, select profile, analyst read only, or some. We can share with them all observables, and also we can share with them tasks. My account was created within SOC organization and in network, so I can jump to the network organization to see the case I shared. So this is the shared case, and as you can see, we have observables, and also we can share with them selected tasks. So when we close the case, we can select the final status, which could be true positive with impact to the organization or without impact, false positive, indeterminate, and other. So let's put a short summary and close the case. So now we will open in a separate tab workflow module, and here we create workflows using nodes. Nodes are responsible for communication with different systems. So for example, if we want to read open cases, we will choose internal node Energy SOAR base. And within the node, we select which resource we want to read. So for example, alerts, cases, logs, observables, and so on. Let's choose cases. And then there are different operations, such as get cases, update cases, execute responders. Let's choose get cases and leave it to 10 and execute the node to see how is it working. So the output is in JSON or in the table. If we want to enrich the cases with additional information, we can, for example, add another node, which is Energy Log Server. We can get data from SQL databases. Yeah, so we have some AWS integrations, some Google services, and so on. We can update tickets in external systems. If we don't have direct integration with external system, we can use generic HTTP request node. This node provides different authorization methods. We can choose request method, provide URL, add headers, query parameters. So this is the way to use API of many different systems to build custom workflows. Yeah, so we have service now, and we can connect to different resources over there. Get, delete, update. There are plenty of different operations. Finally, we can send notifications using email or Teams or Telegram.
Line is in Thailand. There he is.
Yeah, Line, of course. Yeah. The nodes are divided into different categories. So we can go over the categories to search additional nodes we want to use. And also there are transformation nodes. We can build some code to change values, build a dictionary if for example, severity from different tools comes in different outputs. It could be numeric translated to string values and so on. We can get data from files, we can write data to a file. We can build entire workflow using conditions. We can merge different paths. We can execute nested workflows. We can execute commands on the Linux system. To run the workflows, there are a few ways. The simplest way is interval. And we choose, for example, the workflow should be executed every 5 minutes. And this interval will be the initial node in our workflow. So this is it. If we need more sophisticated schedule, we can use cron. We can also use trigger type of nodes. So for example, let's choose Jira trigger. And if new event appears, so for example, issue created or issue updated, the workflow will be executed. So the Jira, we don't need this one. We can connect this, and it will work in listen mode to get a new events and execute entire workflow. This workflow, which will analyze the object and take additional actions. The workflow starts from getting cases, then we get observables from the case. We filter public IPs, then we execute analyzer, we get report, we add tag to observable to have clear information about it. If the object is suspicious, we increase severity of the case. We can also block IP address using a responder. If the object isn't suspicious, we close the case automatically. So the green marks indicates which path was chosen. Now we can see the suspicious tag over here, and the severity now it is high. During troubleshooting or some additional investigation, we can open each of nodes to see what the data was selected. So we can see the observables, IP address, and domain. Then we can open this one and report, reputation, and for example, go to past executions to see what data was analyzed a week before or yesterday. So we can also check if there are some errors, some workflows didn't work correctly or are still running. So everything is stored over here. Energy SOAR will take those messages and create cases for each message. In the case, we will have email file, which is entire message forwarded to this mailbox. And in the SOAR console, we can preview the email. So as you can see, HTML is also supported. We can see details, even raw email. Also, objects from the message are extracted. So we can see domains, URLs, IP addresses. Every object will be analyzed. So for example, we can analyze this URL and see the reputation, also domains, IP addresses, and so on. Then we get outputs from reports to calculate global risk. In the workflow, we need to normalize those values to calculate global risk. And 30% is, I think, pretty high level. So in this case, we will notify our employee, don't click anything, the message is really suspicious. We provide framework, which allows us to run different analyzers, but the service is external. So for example, if we need to connect to VirusTotal service, then we register in VirusTotal and provide API to connect to the service. We, as vendor of Energy SOAR, add additional possibilities to connect to different threat intelligence sources. So for example, if you need to connect to Umbrella, you click enable and need to provide your API key to connect to this service provider. So nothing is required. Just click enable and you can use this one, but most of them require free subscription, which could be limited or not unlimited, and some of them require paid subscription. So it depends on the service provider. Next up, you can see 93 responders, and they are configured in similar way. So we provide client ID, API key, and other details to enable the responders.